where we discuss issues and sensitive issues that has to do with our youth. I'm very sorry. We are a little bit sorry for not being online for some time because we had some issues that we are trying to take care of. We are welcome back again where we have these discussions on what is trending and what is going on around the world, especially in our country, Nigeria. Today we are trying to look at consequences for that which is wrong. Do we really have consequences? Are people generally above the law? Because the Holy Book himself said, if evil is not punished on time, the heart of men are set to do evil. And it's quite unfortunate what we are experiencing in Nigeria now, which will also have effects in the way we reason, the way the youths reason, and the kind of lessons we teach our youths. We must begin to stamp our foot on the ground to make the youths understand that there are consequences. There are consequences for every action. In science, it says there's equal and opposite reaction. But if we live in a system where there are no consequences, if we live in a system where it seems as if some people are above the law, especially when it comes to leaders, it seems as if they are above the law, then what do you expect the youth to do? The EFCC is doing everything possible to fight against Yahoo and the rest, internet fraud, which they are fighting against, which we don't support. It's giving the country a bad image. It's destroying our youth and the rest, and we want to also appreciate EFCC for the effort they are putting. But the question you want to ask, what example are our leaders following, and are there consequences for actions they've taken? We are all Nigerians. We are in this country where an accountant general was accused of stealing over 100 billion. And nothing has been done about it, nothing. They take them to court and they will be in court for the next 10 years, 20 years. And after, after a while, you hear that they've done some relief, is it payback they call it now? They've done plea bargain. So out of the 100 billion that he was alleged to have stolen, over 100 billion, that's alleged to have stolen, he has agreed to return 20 billion or 30 billion or 40 billion, and so the case will be thrown out of the court. It's the same system we have been experiencing. In the same country, we hear of a governor of recent, governor of Kogi State, who was alleged to have embezzled over 100 billion of his state fund. There was so much noise about declaring wanted, about doing this. The shouting was amazing. And at the end of the day, he submitted himself, was arrested, they take him to court, spent like 1 week, remanded in prison for 1 week, release is at home, and the case will go on for months. Are there consequences for crime in this country? Because if there are no consequences, then we are giving the youth a wrong signal. Because the EFCC put so much attention in pursuing a Yahoo boy that steals $100 million, that steals $100, $200. Pursuing the case seriously. And we have people, governors and the rest, who have been stealing billions and billions, and it's just nothing much is done. They just create an impression that something is done. Nothing is done. And you ask yourself, for the past 8 years till now, how many government officials have been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, 20 years imprisonment for embezzling their state fund? None. We hear so much noise from the EFCC, and yet nothing is happening. We are giving the youth a wrong signal. It is at the end of the day, we are making it look as if there are some set of people who have the monopoly of crime, the senior government officials. And just of recent, immediate recent, if I'm not making mistakes, of recent, we heard of a governor who was accused of embezzling over 1 trillion naira of his state fund. There was so much noise about it. Reported that EFCC office came back, is at home now, attending parties. It has been like that continuously. There seems to be an allegiance, there seems to be a gang up among the politicians to continue to embezzle funds and nothing much is done about it. Creating an impression that we have EFCC is working and fighting crime. When I listen to the EFCC chairman, I see somebody who is desperate to sanitize the country. But again, the same Nigerian system, there are powers from above that appointed him that will make it impossible for them to do what is right. So the question is, how do we build a country like this? How do we build a system like this, where corruption is destroying the land completely? And you ask yourself, Yahoo, I'm not giving an endorsement for Yahoo boys, no, at all. But I can tell you the word in the streets. A Yahoo boy that steals $100 and a governor that is accused of stealing 1 point something trillion naira, who is of more danger to our society, to our country? So you find out that the politicians are continuing in embezzlement and getting away with it. They are getting away with it. They know they are the same people, they are friends. They will make so much publicity, they will talk too much media trial, they will talk and talk and talk, and you will think that something want to come out of this case. Nothing. We saw the case of Kogi. I listened to the president of you. We have pursued this case to the end. We discover him. He's declared wanted. We contacted what do you call it? Interpol. This, all those are just stories. Now the guy has been released. Now he's at home. And the judicial system is, our Nigerian judicial system is such a joke that the case will be there for the next 50 years. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. And that's where we find ourselves. That's why crime is increasing, because there's no consequence. You see, as long as the punishment for crime is being delayed, the heart of the people are set to continually do evil. If you check the trend, we were stealing in millions before, but now we have moved to billions. Then all of a sudden, the governor of Delta State break the record, at least the public record, of trillions, of over $1 trillion, alleged. We were thinking we have his day in court to defend these things, so the EFCC must have gotten their facts right before they come out to make such publicity. But you just don't understand. Is it that they've not done enough investigation before these people are accused? Because you must have gotten your fight right, you must have gotten a watertight case before you go to court. Look, the politicians are destroying the country. The level of embezzlement and fraud is unimaginable. It's getting worse by the day. Look at what is happening in River State, where there was all kinds of allegations that the former governor was insisting that they should give him half of the money that came to the state, blah, 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 blah. And the EFCC investigated that issue between Wike and Fubara to be able to know whether it is true. Because I don't understand how somebody can make such allegation. Because you're a governor of the state and you've moved on, they should give you half of the state's allocation because you want to maintain a structure. Which structure? Structure of corruption? And so this is how this embezzlement continues. And this set of politicians we have today, they are not ready to build up a nation. And this is having effects even down. Look at crime. Look at the court activities. Look at fraud, all taking place. The youths don't take the government serious because the government themselves have not shown that they are serious in fighting crime. We have one of the best security agencies in the country. I mean, the world. Our police and the rest, they are one of the best. But how come when they're in Nigeria they're not effective? Because those in government are making it difficult for the police to do their job. They are the ones that are making it impossible for the police to do their job. Look at the crisis we're having in Rivers State just because of one man. And the federal government seems to, and the government seems not to have the balls to handle the issue. And it's getting away with it. There was a video that was trending online of the same former governor moving around with Cadillac, moving around with limousine, with all kinds of cars. A former government official moving around with these cars. Then you ask yourself, where did they have the money to buy such cars? If we continue like this, we will not go forward as a nation. And unfortunately, the people are the ones that are paying the price for bad leadership. The people are the ones that are paying the price for fraud, for fraudulent activities that is going on. It's the people. People are suffering. Look at what is going on now. Look at how much they have stolen. Look at how much the politicians keep stealing. It is the same politicians that is endorsing crime, criminal activities, because they want to remain in power for as long as they want. And you see, the confidence in the politicians is gone. Nobody has confidence in the politicians anymore because the politicians are not prepared to build up a nation. The politicians are destroying Nigeria. And unfortunately, corruption is in the forefront of the agenda of the politicians. They are not fighting corruption. Look at the fraud. The mindset of Nigerians now is that the only way to make money is to get into politics. Look at states that say they are fighting courtesan. And some of those states, they are alleged to also have courtists in their government. In the government. And you begin to ask yourself, what kind of country is this? What country do we have? Where is the savior coming from? It's impossible for these politicians to save Nigeria because most of them are corrupt. They have history of corruption. And so you cannot expect people that have history of corruption to deliver Nigeria out of the quagmire we find ourselves in. Nigeria have no business being in poverty. Nigerians, if you look at the money that have been stolen, the money that is still being stolen, the money they are stealing continually in government, from the federal government to the state government to the local government, if you see the money, even the various parastatals, there is no serious effort to fight corruption. No serious effort. And so the trend continues. And those who want to even enter politics now are entering because they want to defraud the nation. And so the question we want to ask, God, where will the Savior come from? Because among the politicians today, we don't have anyone that you can point to and say, yes, this is somebody that wants to save this country. They don't have them. They have history of corruption, massive history of corruption. And we see these things going on again and again where money is being used to silence people so that they cannot take any action in anything. So the country is being run as if it's a gangster. As if gangsterism have taken over leadership. Crime is not punished effectively. And so the people's mind is set to continually do evil. Look at the fraud that is taking place in different states. Everywhere. Where are we going to have the right kind of leadership? I mean, the other time you talk about oil, they're stealing money from the oil from the high sea. They want to look for a private person to go. And you begin to ask yourself, it's an admittance of the fact that the system has failed. We have the Navy, we have the police, we have all these security agency on the sea. And you still have people will come in with vessels to steal crude oil. You know how large the vessel is? because those that are doing it are also part of the government system. And Nigerians are getting to a point now where people are confused. It doesn't matter the water you fetch on a basket. You can't use a basket to fill a drum. You can't use a basket to fill a drum. The level of corruption is high and it's getting worse. When the former president Muhammadu Buhari was elected, he was being branded by those who want to package him as a man of integrity. Oh, man of integrity. He has been staying in one house, he has an old chair, he has this. But now look at what happened in their government. A lot of fraud. A lot. We look at the NNPC managing directors that were removed of recent, accused of, there's one particular one that was alleged to have had 80 billion in his account. So all the money they've been sending to fix the refinery, they've been embezzling it. Until we have a powerful system, a law that makes fraud the highest level of criminality. We are suggesting that fraud should be, the penalty for fraud should be life imprisonment. Until something serious is done against, punishment is done against fraudulent cases, corruption will take over our nation. Corruption is corruption. What is taking place in Rivers State now is corruption. Because if not for corruption, one man cannot have the power to hold the state to ransom. We still come on air and begin to talk and want to do this, we want to do this. In a country that is not a banana republic, oh my God. I look at all these things and I feel bad. Because Nigerians does not deserve this kind of leadership. Nigerians does not deserve this kind of leadership that is taking place now. It doesn't matter the effort of the president, no matter what Tinubu tries to do, if corruption is not handled well, as long as we continue to handle corruption with a kid glove, we will never see the dividend of democracy, never. Once a man is appointed into any office, the first thing he thinks about is how to embezzle. And people embezzle and get away with it. As long as people embezzle and get away with it, and we try to create an impression as if EFCC is pursuing them. Okay, let's tell ourselves. Like I said before, let's say for the past 10 years, how many politicians, with all this money they've been stealing and stealing and stealing, how many politicians have been arrested and jailed? None. This is just an arrangement. You just come back, take them to, as if they go to prison. After 2 weeks, they release them, they take the case to the court, and even the judicial system is not even making the matter, it's making the matter worse. They do as if they are going to court, the court will be there adjourning, and for the next 20 years, if you are not careful, the politician that stole the money at 40, at 50, until he is 90 or 80, the case will still be in court. Corruption is destroying this country. Nigerians will not benefit, will not see the benefit of democracy as long as corruption is not tackled effectively. I know seriously well that the current EFCC chairman wants to work. But the problem is that will they allow him to work? How come that all the EFCC chairmen that we've been having have been defeated by corruption, massive corruption? You think they don't want to work? They want to work. But the system will not allow them to work. The system will not allow them to work. And as long as corruption is still number one interest of our politicians, Nigerians will continue to suffer. We have no business suffering. If President Tinubu, who have said again and again that nobody brought him there, he brought himself there. If he can handle the issue of corruption, he's going to make a legacy for himself. As long as there's corruption, you can't get anything. You can't. Look at the money the politicians were accused. I mean, the managing director of NNPC and the rest were accused. Any money you pump into any sector because of corruption, you will not get the result. You will not. Any money you pump into any sector, you will never get the result because of corruption. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. So something must be done. Corruption is not only destroying Nigeria, corruption is destroying our youth. Nigerian youth don't take the government serious anymore. Because they read the papers, they see what is happening. They see the level of corruption taking place in government. They see the noise the EFCC is making, with nobody being punished. The president might have the best of intentions. If he doesn't block the whole of corruption, his intentions will make no meaning. Look at China. Corruption is not tolerated. A third world country like Nigeria that is depending only on oil, and they allow all the resources that come from oil and the rest to be destroyed by corruption. You don't have money and you allow corruption to continue to destroy the country so you can be borrowing. The money that they were borrowing, they keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And what happens to the money? Corruption. It's like borrowing money and putting it in a basket. It's like fetching water with a basket. And I tell you the truth, no matter the effort that is put in by any leader in Nigeria, if he doesn't handle the issue of corruption very well, he's wasting his time. This is already 2 years of this government. And Nigerians are not feeling the effect of governance at all. In security, in the economy. The purpose of government is actually for security and the economy. You ask, there are people, we have people who will talk and try to paint it and make it look as if something is happening. So the question you ask yourself is your life better now than before? Is the life of Nigerians better now than before? Are Nigerians more secured now than before? Let's tell ourselves the truth. We continue to lie and lie because of bribery here and there. Corruption. The state level corruption, the federal level corruption, the local government level corruption. And this is having serious effect in the youth. And I asked myself, was the EFCC set up to fight Yahoo alone? The ICPC and the rest, what are they doing? Corruption is going. Corruption is taking over, destroying the country. We are not seeing the effect of leadership because of corruption. And you will not see it. Because any money you put into any of the sectors, corruption will destroy it. Look at what is taking place in the oil sector. Because of corruption, nobody is even seeing those who are embezzling our oil, stealing our oil. We are not seeing them. The security agency are not seeing them. Do you know because of corruption, they mine precious stones and the rest in the north, and we are not seeing the resources. There are people who are mining those precious stones. And you ask yourself, where are the security agency? Can these people be discovered and punished so that Nigeria can be free from corruption? As long as Nigeria is being guarded by corruption, as long as progress is being hindered by corruption, we are not going to see the dividend of democracy. The reasons why Nigerians are suffering now than before is because corruption is getting worse. People are no more stealing in millions. They are no more stealing in billions. People are now stealing in trillions. The politicians are getting richer. The people are getting poorer. The politicians are getting richer. The people are getting poorer. Look at the fight for leadership. I mean, this is just 2 years into this government. And before the next election, 2027, it should be in another 2 years' time. But look at the struggle and the fight to become president. When we have 2 years more for the next election, but people are battling to be governors and president. because of embezzlement, because of corruption. It's a legal way of stealing, protected by security agency. Leadership in Nigeria right now, political leadership in Nigeria right now, is a legal way of stealing, protected by the security agencies. And you won't blame them. Nigeria has one of the best security agencies, but there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. The judicial system, I don't understand. I don't understand. People cannot be punished. Crime is getting worse. If something is not done on time, we are going to get to a stage where the suffering will move people. I'll be able to answer any call for now. Until after the program, please. I'll not be able to answer any call for now. And it's pathetic, it's sad, it's shameful that Nigerians keep experiencing this kind of leadership. There's a gang up among the politicians themselves, using the police and judiciary to evade justice. Criminality is not being punished at the top level anymore. They are free to do what they want. That's why they can easily tell you, let's go to court, let's go to court. The new norm in Nigeria right now is let's go to court. Let's go to court. Because they know nothing will come out of it. They will steal and steal and steal and embezzle the state fund because they know when they go to court, nothing will happen. If we have an effective judicial system, by now, half of our elected officials will have been cooling off. Half of those who rule this country from 1999 to now, half of them will have been imprisoned by now if we have an effective judicial system. What they have told, it's impossible that Nigeria is still existing is amazing. Nigeria is the only country that can tolerate this level of corruption. Nigerians are the only people that can tolerate this level of corruption, where the corrupt politicians get away with it. The reason why they still commit this level of fraud in governance is because they know they can get away with it. It's because they know they have the judiciary and the security in their pockets. They can get away with anything. But except something is done and done on time, it will get to a stage where Nigerians might not be able to tolerate it anymore. Because the politicians are taking the citizens for granted. The politicians are undermining the citizens. They are taking them for granted. They see Nigerians as fools. The only thing they need to do is to steal more than enough. And once they steal more than enough, they will use the money they've stolen, use 10% of it to bribe people. Bribe this, bribe this, bribe this, bribe this, and they get away with fraud easily. It is fraud that has kept us where we are now. Until Nigerians rise up and say enough is enough, this fraud will continue. And if the fraud continues, we will not make progress. The reasons why you are suffering now, Nigerians, the reason why Nigerians are suffering now is because of corruption. The money that is meant for the betterment of Nigeria is in the pocket of very few leaders. The only way for you to become one of the ways, the easiest way to become a millionaire in Nigeria right now is to struggle and fight your way to win an election, to become governor or president. That's all. That's all. You are already a billionaire. You don't need to work hard to be a billionaire. You only need to rig election to become a billionaire. Once you succeed in rigging an election, you are already a multi-billionaire. They don't steal in millions anymore. They steal in billions and trillions. So that's why people will do anything possible, even if it has to do with killing, medicine, do all kinds of things. Because once they succeed in rigging their way to power, they have already rigged their way to become billionaires. But the question is, how long will Nigerians tolerate this set of leadership? How long will Nigeria tolerate this level of fraud, this level of corruption that is gradually destroying Nigeria? I know Fela sang a song some time ago that Nigerians are cowards, Nigerians are scared. He sang that song, "I no one die, no matter for house, I just marry," and that's the case of Nigerians. They are eating the money, stealing money massively. Fraud taking place, and the people are dying of hunger, suffering. The level of suffering is unimaginable. Singing calls, maybe you can see any call now until after the program. And so please, I want to say, you see, the oppressor will not leave the oppressed alone until the oppressed make up his mind that I don't want to be oppressed anymore. The blacks in America needed to ensure through the civil rights movement that enough is enough. We don't want to suffer anymore. We want freedom. And they demanded for it. And today, the reason why people are hungry, the reason why you cannot pay your children's school fees, you won't pay house rent. I want you to know the reason why you are buying rice at 100,000, the reason why you are buying foodstuffs so expensive is because of the corrupt leaders who have been government. The reason why your dollar is exchanging for over 1,000 plus is because of the corrupt people you have in government. No matter who becomes president, corruption, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who becomes president. As long as we have this same set of leaders continuing in governance, the suffering of Nigerians has continued. They will continue to make promises to you, but those promises are fake. They are busy stealing at the background. And Nigeria is so unfortunate that the judiciary have not been able to handle the issue of corruption very well. And of course, the legislature, as we have them today, is just an arm of the executive. Look as if the judiciary, the legislature, they are an arm of the executive. So Nigeria is running a strange kind of democracy. Democracy is supposed to be three arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Unfortunately, Nigerian democracy has just the executive. The legislature and the judiciary, they are only an arm. They are just an arm of the executive. That's why Nigerians are where they are today. The reason why people are dying of hunger, the hospitals are ill-equipped, you have to pay so much for education. People are suffering because the money has been embezzled by people now. And the reason why they keep embezzling money is because they get away with it. When a man has been in government for 8 years as a governor, he has stolen enough money, but he wants to continue to steal for life. Look for who he will appoint, anoint, take over from him so that he can also be collecting money. The one that plays the new governor there now, so you can look at the old nonsense. Which part of the world do you hear such things? America? Britain? There's nowhere you hear such madness. Only in Nigeria. And I want us to know that the youth are learning from the terrible leadership of the father. Terrible leadership. Nothing to do with the president or the president alone. No. We must begin to change our orientation. We must have an effective legislature. We must have an effective judiciary. People must be punished for crime. As long as crime is left unpunished, bondage they are in now will continue until they say enough. We need to have an effective leader. We are blessed financially. And Nigeria can be the greatest country on earth. If we have leaders that can change their mind and say, no, let's build Nigeria. We focus a lot on the president, not on the governors, not on the legislature, not on the parastatals and the rest. Because the judiciary, our president will see all kinds of cases that need to make you wonder. Judgment coming in, strange judgment coming in, all kinds of cases. Are we going to ever lead to democracy? Or are we going to continue to teach our youth that criminal activities can get away with it if they are well connected? The head of the government wants to move from his party to another party. And people are saying that he has about 1.something trillion fraud case. He has to move. It's in this country where the prominent politicians, the former governor was saying that if you have corruption case, you move to their party, you are free. And Nigerians saw it and they cried and laughed. So I want to assure Nigerians that your suffering will continue as long as we have this mindset of leaders. As long as we have this kind of leaders in government, the suffering of Nigerians will continue. It's not about going to church or going to mosque to pray. Praying in the church and praying in the mosque will not solve Nigerian problems. People must demand for effective leadership. God has blessed Nigeria enough. There is nothing that God wants to do again for Nigeria. He has blessed Nigeria. And as long as Nigerians continue to allow their leaders to continue to manipulate them and continue to loot the treasury, Nigerians will continue to suffer. It has nothing to do with God. Prayer cannot solve the problem. I saw a paper, I think it's Tribune, where Pastor Umui of Deeper Life was saying, in that paper, 1984, and let us pray for Nigeria. So they've been praying for Nigeria maybe since till now. Where is the result? Prayer will not solve Nigerian problem. We must demand for effective leadership. As long as Nigerians are too scared to demand for effective leadership, the suffering will continue. The embezzlement will continue. It's getting worse. People are stealing what they don't need. The former governor that was alleged to have stolen 1.7 trillion, you ask yourself, what does he want to do with over $1 trillion naira? They steal money they don't need. They load their house, their seaway tank, they dig, they bury the money on that. They keep looting the treasury because they know that nothing will happen. Take them to court. They have a way, because they have the pot in their pocket. They will have a way of getting away with it. That's the reality of Nigeria today. Because evil and criminal activities is not punished. The heart of the people are set to continually do evil. To continually do evil. We must do everything possible to ensure that we must begin to demand for accountability. Imagine the last government when the president said nobody should ask him anything when he was living. If you are too big to be asked about your leadership, then you're not supposed to be a leader. You're not supposed to be a leader. A leader is somebody that is accountable. The reason why Nigerians is suffering today right now is because we have a deformed democracy. Our democracy is deformed. Our democracy is paralyzed. Because the other two arms of government are now becoming part of the executive. They are now agency of the executive. So they cannot call the executive to order. Even in the states, money is going. Billions and billions. They get away with it. They get away with it. That's the sad part of it. They get away with it. Because criminal activities are now becoming a way of life for Nigeria. And the greatest threat to democracy are our threat to the existence of Nigeria are our leaders. Bad leadership, unaccountability, and fraud is destroying Nigeria. Nigerians are suffering. And instead of demanding for effective leadership, they go to church and mosque to pray, thinking that God will come down and give them good leaders. You must demand for it. They must demand for it. They must demand. Nigerians must demand for effective leadership. Until we demand for it, Nigerians will continue to suffer. Poverty will continue to increase because these present politicians are not prepared to help Nigerians. If Nigerians don't demand for good leadership, Nigerians will continue to suffer. Prayer will not solve Nigerian problem. The problem of Nigeria is not about prayer. We have prayed enough. There are prayers taking place. The more Nigerians are praying, the more people are suffering. The problem is not prayer.